Thank you, David, for reminding me to record. So let me go back. Before, we were here. So I was now uploading this amended return IT1 for. It's now opening. So this is the long way of filing return. So if it brings you these errors, you have not enabled, you have to enable this content for these errors to come out. So ensure you have enabled everything. So when I go back here, you can see now there's no those hashtag names and what, because I have enabled my IT1 Excel. So if I want to do any amendment, for me to amend it downwards, you'll have to visit your tax agent at the KRA to inform, to physically provide the proof why your taxes are, why you are reducing your liability downwards. But if you are increasing your liability, it will improve, it will be approved immediately. That's Kenya with you. If you are increasing your liability, it will be approved immediately. But once you are reducing your liabilities, it usually becomes a bit tedious, and you have to provide the approval. You have to provide the P9 and all supporting for you to inform them why you are reducing that liability. So this is the amended IT1. So this is what you'll get once you are doing the amended. So you'll amend everyone. I'll show you how to amend when I'm doing that for individual. So this one was just, but someone asked about the amended. So I've shown you how the amended return looks. It's just the same, but here the only different part in this when you are the type of return, this one will indicate amended. Then the period, that's the only different thing that will be from the original one. The rest are usually the same. So I can stop sharing so that I can go on to do it safely. So is this question? Okay. So thanks for that question. I told you today we come with so many questions so that let me stop sharing so that as I'll be able to answer so much questions, because if I don't answer today, we only have 4 sessions, and today is only we are dealing with the individual. Tomorrow we'll be dealing with something different. So let me go back. We are done. I think this one is, we are done with that. So if you want to file nil returns, usually come here. For those guys who don't have any income, just come here, click on nil returns. You come here and income tax individual, then next. That one will file nil returns, because me, I've already filed, I can't file nil returns. This now for the people who are employed, or guys who are earning, or maybe are in the payroll, the employer is paying them, they are being paid for PAYE. The PAYE is I believe you understand what I mean by when I say PAYE. At least that, I think that is obvious for everyone. PAYE usually deducted from your income, and that's a statutory requirement. Yeah, PAYE reason. So for those guys who are employed, this is a shortcut they usually use for you to file your return quite easily. So once you come here and click on the year that you want to file, 2021. So you don't click the next one, you can see the original return has already been filed. But if mine had not been filed, it will now show me, it will give me more details. For me, I'll just go say next, 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 and then I just input the personal relief. That's the only thing that I usually fill in when I'm using this one for ITR, for employment income only. That's the shortcut. For those guys who have been given the tax amnesty, like the one that was given in 2020, last year, most of the guys who are given the amnesty to now, because if KRA want to bring so many guys into the tax brackets, you're usually given a tax amnesty for you to do the voluntary tax disclosure. Out of that, there'll be no any penalty or interest imposed on any disclosure that you input in the system. The only thing that you usually pay, if it's payable, you just pay the right amount, and you're good to go. There'll be no any penalty that you'll be charged. So that is that. Is any other question? I believe now that's a bit clear. So kindly go with me to that Excel sheet that I shared with you. We can now close this one because now you are now going to that Excel and that P9 that I shared with you. I can stop sharing this one. So kindly go with me to that Excel sheet that I shared with you before the class. So the Excel sheet, let me open mine and I'll be able to share with you. And also open with me the P9 that I will also able to share with you. So I hope you got that concept that now if someone wants to be filed, is employed, you have seen the shortcut that will be using to file the returns. So yeah, I'm sharing it right away. I was opening the Excel so that I can guide you. Let me start sharing. This is the exact IT1. They're usually IT1, they're usually IT2. IT2 is usually for the company and then the rest. So IT1 is for the individual. Can you see my screen? Yes, kindly share on the chat box so that I can know we're on the same page. Okay, thanks Rachel for confirming. Thanks Momo also for confirming. So you can see once I open this IT1, I can see these errors, this name, hashtag, all these are errors. This is because I've not enabled editing. So you have to click here, enable editing. Click with me, enable editing to remove all those errors. Window closed. Sorry, my screen went off. Let me share my screens once again. This I hope you can see my screen now. Guys, can you see my screen? Yeah. So click with me this enable content for you to remove all these errors that are coming in here. Just click on it. Once you click on it, it will be able to, now you'll be able to open it. So let me stop sharing. I enable editing because if I enable when I'm sharing the screen, it will not enable. So let me share with you what we have now. This is what I'm expecting you to have after you have enabled that, enable the content. Are we on the same page? Guys, can you see my screen? Are we all here? Once you go to the last page, tax computation, you can see there is no the hashtag name. So at least now we can now proceed. So I hope everyone we are on the same page. I've not left anyone behind. I need your confirmation because I'm only seeing 2 guys who are making the confirmation. You edit on the, there was this Excel sheet, the Excel that I'd shared with you on on the page. You just go and click on enable content. Once you click on that, now you'll be able to, once you go to the last page, this tax computation, there'll be no errors on this page. You'll now find 00 all this. I hope now you're on the same page. Kindly, if you have any issues, kindly share on the chat box. I'll be able to see and I'll be able to respond to your query. So if there's no query, I believe now everyone is on the same page. So here, we can just input, we can just input the company, the PIN that I've shared for the company. Oh, because today you are dealing with individual. Input the PIN that starts with A. If you see a PIN that starts with A, that's individual or sole proprietor. But if you see any PIN that starts with a P, that's for a company, partnership, which other form of, yeah, all those. That's not an individual. So let's input just input your PIN. You can just input your personal PIN. This we are, okay. You can see I was waiting for this question from Rachel. Is she's the only one which who is experiencing this issue? Is anyone else experiencing the same issue as the same as Rachel's? She has enabled the content, but it's still showing error. So just copy that IT word to the desktop. Once you copy that IT, just open using the desktop. Don't open using the Excel. Copy, then paste it in the desktop, then open from the desktop. Once you open from there, it will now be able to remove that error code. Kindly try that and you'll be able to see it will now remove that error code. I also witnessed the same once I was working on that. And I'll be able now, I was able now to know where the issues were. So are we on the same page, everyone? Okay, so kindly input me. You can just click in your PIN. This one doesn't matter which PIN that you're using. Just use yours so that for better clarity, that's my PIN. I'm not using the one that I've shared with you, the PIN address. So the type of return indicate the original. Since this one I used, this Excel was used for the original. I was able to get IT1 from someone, and now we are using the original one. So file in return, we are using this is the long process. Mostly the long process is used when someone has 2 incomes. Maybe like Daktari has usually interacted with him. He tells you he's working for a different company during the day. And then in the evening, he usually has an online class. So you can see he has two different incomes. For him, once you are filing, he can't use the shortcut that the one that I showed you previously. Now he'll has to go the long way because he has to declare the two. If you have multiple income, you use the long way to file your returns. But you have only one source of income, you will use only the shortcuts to file your returns. I hope that is clear with you. That's why I'm showing you the long way of filing returns. So the period that you are looking at is this year, 2021. So the first day is 1st of January. Then once you click to the next one, the tab, just go to the tab and then you click on 31st December 2021. I hope I've not left anyone behind on the same page. So once you come here, you declare which source of income that you are earning. There are several sources of income. Do you have any other employment income? Or if it's for daktari, you'll say yes. But for in our case, the P9. Okay. What's the issue, Rachel? I can see you are saying that you have left you behind. It's still showing the error. Kindly just refresh it. Refresh, maybe it's your machine. Just refresh it and then open it afresh. Because most of the guys are able to, no one is experiencing the same. So the P9 that I shared, he doesn't have any other income. So if the person doesn't have any other income, you come here and say no. So once you click on no, it will if I said yes, let me show you. Once I come here and say yes, you'll see something will change. You can see now the top, the tax bar at the bottom, it has opened the profit and loss account. It has also opened the balance sheet account, stock analysis, all these with wear and tear account, all this summary of wear and tear. I hope you can see with me all these accounts which I've opened. Once I had clicked, they have an additional income other than employment income. So I hope you got me on that. Any question? Kindly ask any question because I know there's a catch on that because I'll be also working out on, I'll be indicating I have this P9, the one that I shared with you, has extra income, and I'll be able to show you how to factor it out. So I don't, kindly have any question, kindly ask. I don't want to, maybe when I'm working on NSSF and HIF, you're asking a question about the individual return. So kindly ask any question that it may be concerning this filing of individual return. Since there's no any question, I think we can now proceed. So Doda. That's why if you had only one source of income, you usually use the shortcuts. But if you have multiple sources of income, you will have to use this long way because you have to indicate, because maybe for this guy, maybe you are doing accounting or bookkeeping. They usually call it bookkeeping for clients. So you can see you have two sources of income. Oh, Jamila, you also experiencing the same. Have you enabled the content? from the top there's a top task asking you to enable content. Kindly click on it. It will be able to clear all those errors. Kindly, once you enable the content and it just is still showing the error, kindly inform me so that I can see how I can assist you. So that's I was answering this question for Ododa. I hope I've not butchered your name. Yeah, if you have multiple sources of income, so if I have a employment income and also have this question that's coming in quick and fast, like what happens when one does not disclose the other sources of income? You'll be caught because maybe you like maybe I'm coming here and I am doing this consultancy fee. Then in the end of the day, I'm supposed to earn, maybe I'm doing an example, 100,000. But in the end, instead of paying me 100,000, he withholds the 5%. That 5% usually while sitting KRA, he is able to withhold because maybe he's a withholding agent. So if I don't declare once I'm filing my returns in before June of next year, KRA will be able to know because I had not claimed for this. You cannot be able to file my returns without disclosing without disclosing this income, because it will show I have another source of income. Once I go to do the shortcut, thinking that KRA doesn't know that, doesn't want me to, maybe I never wanted to disclose I have another source of income, I do the shortcut way. It will not agree because it will show me there is a withholding that I have to claim. For me to claim, I have now to do the long way, which is this one now. Because I have to declare that income, which I was able to earn from doing this consultancy work. Because the person who I was doing the consulting, he was able to withhold the 5%, able to be able to file in tax that he was able to withhold 5% from my income. So instead of giving me 100,000, he was able to give me 95,000. So once I'm filing my returns, I'll be able to now claim that 5% that he was able to disclose, he was able to file prior. That's what there's someone who said the tax that there's someone who gave a very good example, the tax which is usually tax at source, because the Kenyans that we know, they usually don't want to disclose anything. That's why when you have a loan with the bank, they usually deduct it immediately. The salary checks in for you now to remain with the net, because they know for you before you deduct it to pay, it's a bit tricky, especially for Kenyans. So that is that. So the next one, there's this question that Rachel is asking. Let's say you get a rental income from your parents or sponsor property to help the upkeep. So long you have not withheld anything, you're good to go. So, once you are filing, it's a disclosure, self-disclosure. This information that you are giving is you are the one that you are disclosing. But if you are earning this rental income and you are not filing, KRA will come, will get up with you once, because when you are paying for these KPLC bills, the PIN is usually indicated usually indicate your PIN. So if they see this PIN is still paying for so long and it's not filing this rental income, they'll start questioning, and they'll come, and you'll be, because these things are interlinked, they'll be able to access your bank account. And that's why I usually say, just give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar before you. In fact, KRA will not, they'll wait until that amount accumulates to a big figure so that they come for you. They'll not come for 50,000 or 100,000. They'll wait for that amount to pile up to maybe 10 million or 50 million, so that the interest that they'll be charging you will be a good amount. So maybe you're thinking you're smart enough, you're not paying this rental income, but one day you'll be caught up in events. So kindly do this, file these returns. Don't try to be smart. You find yourself, you are oh, my voice went down. I think it's my speaker. I hope, am I loud enough now? Yeah, my mic is okay. So let's move on. So this was for this page, we just indicate the period, and then nothing else. For partnership income, that's a different case. These are all these mortgage savings plan, the life insurance policy, commercial vehicle. That's a different case. So just click on me the next so that we can move a bit faster. So here, I need to push this on the find. So here you just key in the PIN of the employer. The PIN of the employer should start with the P. So I can just key in the PIN. You just go to the P9 that I shared in the group. So let me input the PIN. The ones are 4, then 712X. So the name of the employer, you may choose to input or not input. For my case, I'll just, let's say, I'll say XYZ Limited. So the gross income, as you can see with me, the gross income there is 4.1. You can see this person is earning a good salary. So we started the same problem, enable editing. Can you open, is it put that Excel on the desktop, then open from the desktop? You see whether you still experience the same. If you experiencing the same, I think you'll have done both. I think I'll have a session with you and see what the issue is. So input with me the gross pay. I hope you can see, you've opened the P9 that I shared in the group. The gross pay from the P9 is 4.19. I hope you can see the figure. Guys, I've not seen any response from you. Kindly confirm whether you have seen the figure, the 4.1 million. Has anyone seen? Okay, James has confirmed. Anyone else? Yes, guys are confirming. So for this other column, the allowance benefit. So this one is mostly applies for those guys who are earning the motor vehicle benefit. And as you know from the ITAX class, this one usually goes, you compare the CC of the vehicle. You compare the CC of the vehicle plus which is usually compare the CC of the vehicle. They usually give you the CC and then the amount. So out of that, you compare the CC of the vehicle with that, what was it? mostly the CC of the vehicle is usually higher off most of the time. So maybe the value of the car. Yeah, I was missing that mark. If the value of the car maybe is 1 million, out of that 1 million, you have to, the allowable benefit for that is usually 4%. So 4% of that for that 1 million, now you compare the CC rating of that car. That CC rating, once you are doing the ITAX taxation paper, they usually give you the amount for that CC. So mostly you compare the two, and the 4% usually wins the day, because if you compare the 4% of 1 million, that's how much? Is it 25,000, if I'm not wrong? The car, the CC, this is surely the, let me go, mostly, let me just put it in practical. For guys, that one will be a bit personal. There are some guys who prefer Premium. There are some cars who prefer Subarus. There are some guys who prefer the Prado. There are some guys who prefer the VIX. So the VIX usually have a 1000 cc. For Premium, the cc, yeah, consumption rate. And it's not a concern, it's the power, the engine power. I'm trying to explain because most of these are quite new to this, because the consumption of the engine power of the car. So for VIX, the CC rating is usually 1000. For Premium, the CC rating is usually 1.8, 1800 or 1500. They usually cut across there. But when you go to maybe what else? Like the Nissan X-Trail. The Nissan X-Trail maybe range from 2000 to 2400 cc. So once you go higher, like maybe once you have maybe the owner has a Crown, Toyota Crown. The Crown usually has a 2500 cc. It consumes a lot. Then when you go to Prado, yeah, you can see even Enroll has given us the ratings. Prado goes to 3000 cc. So the cc, so once you computing the cc, you'll find that for cc, the rates are usually down as compared when you take the range. Mostly for, you take the higher of between the 4% of the value of the car, you compare it to the CC rating. So the value of the car is usually higher most of the time. That's why you usually input the CC of the car. But in our case, we don't have he was not given the motor vehicle benefit. He was not given the housing benefit. The pension, if you excess of 3,000, is the amount that usually input here. But in our case, there's no that benefit. So the only benefit is only the salary that is earning, the employment income. So you just click with me to the next page. Let's move a bit faster. Time is catching up with us. So the PIN of the employer, because in the previous page, we had indicated the PIN of the employer. So in the next page, you just come here to the drop down arrow. You click on it, it will bring the PIN of the employer. You just click on that. Pension in excess, you know the pension in excess, the pension that you're supposed to, let me come back to the previous. Okay, let me answer this. There's a question that is coming from Ododa, sorry. I'm butchering this name a lot. Pension, you know, pension is the amount that you usually contribute. Maybe this one is maybe the employer usually contributes, or maybe you have engaged a pension scheme, like the life insurance, the CFC life insurance, and the maximum that you can be contributing in a year is usually 15,000. So if you times 15,000 times 12, I am expecting you to, no, it's not 15,000. It should be more than 15,000. Maybe let's say you are contributing 15,000 per month. If you times by 12, that should be 180. But maybe in this case, you're contributing a pension scheme of more than 300. If in excess of 300, this is allowable. If it's more than 3,000, you have to declare it here. If it's less than, if your pension is less than 3,000, you don't declare it here. For there are some people who usually want to have a, maybe you go to this life pension scheme, like the CFC life insurance. You say you want a pension, maybe you'll be paying 30,000 per month. So once you times 30,000 per month, in 10 months, that will be 300,000. When you had another 30, that will be 3,600. For that case, you'll have to declare the 60,000 here, because it's excess of 300, and 300 is the limit that you can be, that you are guaranteed to. Any higher than that, you will be taxed. So you'll be given a relief of up to 300. So anything above this one that doesn't have any percentage. If any pensions it's higher than that, you don't get any relief. So your relief is up to 300,000 per year. That's annually. If it exceeds 3,000, you have to declare it. You'll not be given that. You'll not be awarded that relief. So the PIN of the employer is here. The name of the employer, let's say it's XYZ, like that. So the taxable salary that you are claiming is the one that is indicated there, 4.188. So I just come here and click 4.188,972. Like that. So I hope you can see that figure from the P9 that I shared. I hope you have the P9 with you. It's just confirming what I'm keen, and then I just got the confirmation from one person. I hope the rest I can see the P9. I'm getting my 4.18. Kindly differentiate, there's a 4.18 and 4.19. So the 4.18 is coming from the where it's written chargeable pay. Have you gotten that figure? I can just have only one confirmation. Guys, I'm waiting for more confirmation from you. Yes, I can see David had seen that figure. Anyone else? Yes, Jamila has also seen that figure. So for you to go to the tax payable or taxable salary, you go to the next one, the tax charge. That's now the figure that you are picking. Then I just pick the 1.194095, like that. I hope you can see where I'm getting this figure from. Because once I'm done with this, I'm expecting one person to share what I've done so that I can see whether you got the concept. So that is that. I hope you got, I've seen where I've gotten the 1.1. It's tax charged. So you can see here is the amount of tax deducted, the PAYE. So the PAYE is here, the amount which I'm indicating here, the 1.165,295. It's well labeled there, PAYE tax on the P9 that I shared with you. I hope that you can see. So once it's at the end, so that you can see the taxable, refundable, this the relief. It should add up the total relief. If you are not getting this figure, you know you are wrong. Just check. You can't get this figure from what you have indicated. You have keyed the figures. Just know you have done a mistake, and just kindly repeat the process until you get this figure. If you get this figure, you know you are right. I hope you've gotten the figure also. Guys, are we on the same page? Okay. So once you key in, you don't require the other details. So you proceed to the next. So IQ payment. This mostly applies to maybe if let's say your year end is June. And before June, you have a tax, you have a payable, you have to, but this one really applies for employed people. This mostly apply for maybe companies and stuff, because the HR usually ensures is paying the PAYE on your behalf. So there's no any one time that you will key in any advance payment here. This mostly applies for maybe companies. And I'll be able to explain this when I will be going for the company filing return. And also this self-assessment, maybe if you file and you found that you have you notice that before the year ends, you'll be liable to file something. Maybe you'll have a taxable of 10,000. I'll show you how to generate a PRN. Once you generate a PRN, now you come, you generate a PRN, then you pay. Then once you've paid, now you come and self-assessment tax. Now you come and indicate that acknowledgement number, the PIN number that you used. You'll be given the PIN, the date of deposit, and then the amount. That applies to people who, once you are filing, you notice that in the end, it will be a payable, but it can rarely happen, since HR usually files the right amount. So if you're filed and someone has, you have a tax payable, just check the person who's filing for you. Maybe he has missed out on something. Like on this one, you'll have a taxable, it will be tax payable. So kindly open to the last page, the tax computation page. So ignore this page. I'll be able to show you what I mean when I'm saying that in the end of it, it will be a payable amount. I hope you have opened with me the last page. That's the T. That's the T, column T. So for defined pension scheme, monthly they usually pay 200 per month as NSSF. This is the NSSF. So if you multiply 200 times 12, that will come out to a figure of 2,400. Let me just key in the 2,400. Even it's indicated there, a retirement contribution and saving plan. So once you key in that pension contribution plan, then here I come to personal relief. For 2021, personal relief was 28,800. Once I key into 28,800, you can see now I have a tax refund. So KRA owes me 5 shillings. So if it owes me 5 shillings, I'll now claim that 5 shillings. They'll ask me for the bank details. The first page. Now this column will open, but you can see since the government is not willing to give you this, it's not rich enough, this column has not been activated. You can see for every credit that you have, any refund, this page for bank details usually becomes active, like this one. But you can see it's not active. So you can't claim this one. So this one, the refund has they made it inactive. So you can't claim it. It just goes like that. So those guys who are of the habit of increasing their, maybe if you know, once you increase this pension scheme, maybe you say you had a pension scheme of 50,000. That's 500. Your pension contribution was 50,000. You can see what will be you'll be claiming from the government. This is for 14,000. But now this page, they saw these guys are playing around with them, so they ensured this is inactive, so that you cannot claim. So just do it right. Just put the right amount, and all will be well. This is you can see now you're done, and then you validate. Is this question that is coming in quick and fast? Let me see who it is from. Rachel, why does the tax assume it's only men who file tax? Wow. Eh. I think it was a male bias. That back in the era, it used to indicate more men used to work, but I think these days things are moving the other way around. Even when you board a matatu early in the morning, you find the gender that is occupying most of the seats, you'll be shocked. So I think things have changed. The girl child has really been empowered, and I think this narrative of that's the main dominant is the women are really catching up with this. So I think the boy child has really been left out. So I hope you've gotten this concept. So is anyone willing to share the screen and work it out and see whether he has gotten the concept? Anyone willing to share the screen? Let me stop sharing so that anyone who is willing to share to confirm whether he has gotten the concept can be encouraged to do so. So anyone, what we have done, and so that you can come up with that figure, you can just share your screen, work it out and see whether you're coming up with the same figure. Once you share, you learn more. I'll be able to know where you got wrong, and I'll be able to assist. So anyone going once, going twice? Well, David, I can see you had a power page, but the video is still there. Once at the end of the class, the video will be shared, and all will be well. Anyone who is willing to share the screen and see whether you gotten the concept right? You can share your screen so that I can assist you. We can work out together. So you can even understand much more. If I still explain, I think you'll not, this is more of practical. So you can just share your screen, they assist you where you went wrong. So just feel free and share your screen and I'll be able to assist you where you stuck. Ododa, I'm waiting. That you're not able to share, ever allowed multiple participants can share. There you are. Share your Excel, ITAX Excel. You have not enabled. That's why you those errors. That was the first thing that I told guys to enable the content. On the first page, I think on the first page, I think the best thing, open on your desktop. Don't open on Excel or the file on WhatsApp. Just copy that IT1 to the desktop, then open from there. Just close that one and then go to the desktop. Copy it on the desktop, then you open from there. Then you enable content, not save. Go to that Excel. Yeah, copy, then you paste it on the desktop. Desktop. Paste there. Now open now. Enable editing on top. Enable edit on top, the top bar. Yeah. And security. Yeah, click on that. Go to the last page. How is yours coming? Mine was, it doesn't have that error. Once I enable it, comes, I think PI depends on the version. Kindly download the one that is in the WhatsApp group. Because mine, I just clicked on WhatsApp, open it, and then it was able to, yeah, like for David doesn't have that error. Even mine that didn't have that error. Maybe it's the version of the desktop. Have you downloaded? You can download and then share. You can see whether you're still experiencing the same. Go to iTax class, download, then you try and open it. If it has that errors on the last page, it will not be able to open. Any version, because I believe this, I'm using a very old machine over here. So it's a very old desktop, even it's not a laptop. So just download it from the WhatsApp. Was even mine, I just download it from WhatsApp. Then once you just copy it, just the one is in a WhatsApp, copy paste on the desktop, then you open from there and see whether you'll be able to open. You can share your screen and see whether you're having that error. Share your screen once you download it so that I can see where the error is. Ododa, you're waiting for you. Share your screen, or anyone can jump in and share the screen and see so that we can know whether you are right or wrong. Anyone? Anyone? Evelyn, you can also share your screen if you don't mind. Ododa, you're still waiting for you to share your screen. Because that was the only issue. Once you have removed that error issue, you're good to go. Ododa, you're waiting for you to share the screen, if it's possible. Anyone else who's wishing to share the screen? I still have an error on my tabs. Oh, I'll just repeat because we are going on somewhere because I show you how to open an account. I'll go there to show you how to the homepage to capture that. Since I see there is no one who's willing to share, let me now go back and share the last part. So, this I can just say it's the elephant in the room. Maybe I was able to. I came here and I got. I was doing some consultancy like the one I'm doing. And let's say Daktari was paying me 100,000. So once I'm filing, I'll just come here. Do you have any other income? Once I'm filing, I'll just come here and say yes, because Daktari was able to withhold the 5,000, which instead of giving me 100, he withheld the 5,000. Can you see my screen? Guys, this is the most crucial part which you should not miss out. Okay, so you can see once I say I have an extra source of income, it has opens extra sheets. So I have to balance this for, if I'm earning an extra income, I just come here to profit and loss. Because I don't have anything here, I'll just come in and because just to balance, just come and put something, just anything. You can just come here and put something small. Maybe you can just say, I had a turnover, not that one, I can just come here and claim anything. You can just come here and see, you don't, because it's a withholding which you are claiming. For the, you want to claim that withholding, you can just come here and say, let's say you earned 100,000. I wanted a shortcut, but let me go the long way. So for, oh, let me remove from commission. You say it should be from other income, from the business income, not rental. So I earned from the business income. So I come here and say I incurred expenses. I can come here. Someone is head. So For the expenses, I come with include the expenses that are related with the source of income. Like if I'm doing consultancy, I'll come here and claim like transport expenses. I say transport expenses was maybe 1,500. I come here and say which other expenses, computer expenses, that is not, I come here and say maybe what? Staff welfare. Staff welfare, that cannot, maybe I say telephone expenses. I incur telephone expenses, calling, and maybe I can say 15,000 because these days airtime is quite expensive. Training expenditure, I come here and say the training for buying all the materials and stuff. I come here and say it incurred me 30,000. So a conference workshop, I can come here to, because I need to book this room. I can claim I was charged maybe, let's say 40,000. Not 400, 40,000. This is an assumption, not the real thing. So you don't have any other expenses. Yeah, let's give it at that. Maybe as one small expense, maybe you say which one? Power, the electricity that we are using. Let's give it 5,000. That's the entire expenses that we incurred. For balance sheet, you just come here and input for land and building or intangible machine, you can just come here and put 1. Don't put any, just put any figure 1 or less. You can even put like 0.95 or 0.5. You put on the land and building, and then you come here. You don't put anything apart from maybe other reserves or maybe proprietor capital. You come here and put 1 so it can balance. You can see this 1 and 1 as balanced. Once we incur in that, you're done. I hope you followed that. I hope not left anyone behind. The first one, you put it in land and building. The other one will put it under proprietor capital, or you can even put it under general reserve. There's no particular. This one is maybe you are earning some extra income, other source of income. You can see from the first page, I was able to declare from my consultancy, I was able to earn 100,000. But out of that 100,000, I was able to incur expenses. Then those expenses should be related to the cost of maybe the business which I'm doing. Like if it's consultancy, I'll be able to incur the transport costs. I'll be able to incur the power. This may be the electricity expenses. These expenses should be linked to the income that I'm earning. I can't incur the expenses like maybe hotel boarding and lodging expenses because these are consultants. Maybe it's a one-day thing, or I cannot incur any legal expenses because these are consultancy. If it was a legal, if it's a suitcase, or maybe it's a different source of income, I could have incurred in illegal expenses. But in our case, I'm not incurring any illegal expenses. I'm also not incurring the rental expenses because this I'm moving from one place to another doing consultancy. So maybe I don't have any particular premise that I'm doing my work. So I'll not incur these rent expenses. The same thing applies to repair of building. So you should link those expenses to the source of income that I'm incurring. Maybe the telephone expenses, you can see I've just indicated the telephone expenses I'm incurring maybe like 15,000. You can just put it 5,000 to be, and then here I come and say stationery because I need stationery. maybe I put a stationery of 5,000, or maybe let's say a stationery of 5,000 because of maybe the marker and stuff. I've incurred these stationery expenses. Maybe you can just give another one of, we can say maybe we booked a room because maybe we travel. We can just include you booked a lodging of maybe 6,000 at night, breakfast and supper. So these are the total expenses which I incurred. So this is what the total expenses out of the income. So for balance sheet, since we don't have any balance sheet item, you just come here, input the land and building one, and then you come and put, because we don't have any balance sheet item, come here and put the general reserves. You put a one. Once you're done that, you don't, all these others, you just ignore, you just bypass. You don't put anything. You just go to the last page. Don't fill any other thing. Because once I was, the reason which I'm doing this is because of the withholding, which the withholding that I was able, the service that I was able to provide, he was able to withhold the 5,000. So once you can see, it has able to include the extra income which I'm earning. So you can see now I have a payable of 1,345, but you remember the person who I was working for, he was able to withhold 5,000 from the 100,000 I was able to be given. So usually come here to the withholding tax credit, you indicate 5,000 because he was able to pay it from the source. So you can see in the end of it all, I have a refund of 3,000 instead of a payable of 1,000 of that, because of that withholding that we was able to generate at the start. That's what I was saying. Withholding usually offset the payable amount that you are owed by the revenue authority. Now you can see now, instead of a payable, you now have a refund of 3,000. And then once you are done that, you now validate. Yeah, income and you can't have income and you have to include the expenses that incurred. Yeah, the same thing, the same concept applies. It has to balance in the end of it all. Income, there's no balancing, but for balance sheet, you have to balance. You can see for my profit and loss, my income was 100,000, but my expenses were 95,500. It doesn't balance, but for balance sheet, it has to balance. You can see that's why I input a one here at land and building, and then I come here at general reserve, I put a one. So in the end of it all, the net asset should tie with the financed by. So I hope you've gotten the concept. For those guys who will be asking you to file for them, mostly are those guys who have extra income and they want to do the shortcut. Once you try to do the shortcut, you will be forced to declare this withholding of these 5,000. And you can't declare using the shortcut, you can't be able to declare this withholding. So you have to go the long process. Yeah, that is what is expected of you. So I believe for now you'll be earning some extra income filing for guys next year who are unable to file their returns because of this extra income which was withheld. So, okay, let me stop sharing this. And now go back because you can see most of the guys missed out on the first thing. So let me share where we were before we went to this part. Let me check a minute. Stop sharing. Let me stop sharing this. So let me take you to where I was initially. So let me share my screen. This was the first page that we were. I hope you can see my screen. Kindly confirm. We are wrapping up. We will be done in the next 10 minutes. I hope you can see my screen. So the shortcut for filing a return is usually this one. ATR for employment income only. That's the shortcut. The shortcut for filing a return is this one. And then the shortcut for filing a voluntary tax disclosure is this one. I hope now we are on the same page, everyone. You can see it has already expired. Now, at least now you got some concept of there. So maybe you had not registered, like for those guys who want iTax and they have not, they don't have a PIN. So they'll be required now to open a new PIN. They'll be required to have a PIN. So if you don't have a PIN, you have to request, you have to come back to the initial stage. So I can just go back. Just go to Google and click on iTax portal. Once you click on iTax portal, I believe this, I'm just repeating what I said previously. Let it open, let it open. This is what you will get. So, which password? I believe I should, in case you don't recall your password, you go to, you just include you just enter your PIN. Once you enter your PIN, you click on continue. Then down there you will see somewhere written forgot password. Just click on it. You'll get a new notification on the new password from the email address that you used to open the iTax. Using that new email, a new password, you can now open and then you change the password to your password of your desire. I hope you have answered your question, Jamila. So for those guys who don't have a PIN, we usually come here. That's the same thing that we'll do. I believe I shared in the before. That was what I shared before you joined. I think maybe you joined when I had already passed that part. You just enter your PIN. Once you enter your PIN, you click on continue. The next stage, you don't enter your password. They'll be somewhere. There's an active part that will be asking you forgot password. So when you click on forgot password, it will be able to pick and will send a new notification to your email. So from your email, you'll now be able now to get a new password and to now reset to your password of your choice. So for the people who don't have any PIN, so usually come here. mostly for those guys, maybe you are straight from high school, you're in between, maybe you're in college, you don't have a PIN. So if you want to have a PIN, just come here and click here. So you'll fill in all these details. You just click on here, individual. This one is for alien, people who are not from Kenya. So if you are a resident of Kenya, you usually click on individual. So should be an online form. So you just click on online form, then you click on next. So once you click on next, do you wish to register for digital? You just say yes. Citizenship, you say Kenyan. Yeah, it's refusing. I don't know why it's not speaking. I think mostly this for digital service is mostly for non-residents. So you can even ignore this one. Because for you, you say you don't want digital, you want it manual. So you can just this one you don't feel it just like that. For this the digital service tax, it's if you don't qualify for this, kindly click on no. The same thing as TOT. Because if you click on yes, you can see, please select citizenship. So if you are not sure about anything, just click on no, or to be on the safe side. If you are like this one, you can see employee profession. You may choose to ignore because there is a drop down arrow on there. Don't know why it's not opening. It's because you have not indicated anything here. So just indicate it here. It's refusing to click on Kenyan. So that's why even when you click no, it's not, the drop down is not working. Or this drop down is not working. I don't know why. So you'll fill in this information, just ignore all this. Fill in the first name, the last name, the middle name, date of birth, sex. So you indicate the pass. You can see when I indicate for me to click yes, it's giving me and I'm Kenyan residents. But if I click no, I can click on Kenyan. Oh yeah, I think that is working. So major group, the drop down is still not working. This one is not working. So ID number, you just fill in and all these other details. You can see you can't fill anything which is not active. So you indicate the LR number, the street road. If you don't have any LR number, you just put an NA, not applicable. Street road, you indicate where you live, county, all these are straightforward things. You live. Alternative address, indicate bank account details. If you say yes, no, for LR number, you say, if you don't have any LR number, you say NA, not applicable. You don't say no. When you indicate no, it will not pick. So once you fill in all these details, then there's this document for registration. Maybe this is mostly for the business. So this one will go once we are opening the business, but this for individual, you don't need to fill anything here. So you go to the next, basic information. So mostly when you go to cyber, they usually is the obligation that you should have, mostly for you, for people who are not in business, should be only the income tax obligation. and mostly for those guys who are opening the PIN. The PIN is mostly for income tax obligation. But when you go to cyber, most of them, they don't know, or they don't know why they usually indicate, or they just, you will see them including these. You can see even you're given a warning if you should have filed before or 9. So you can see you just don't go ticking each and every tab that you see. When you, that's why you like this year KRA has cleaned his file, because you are finding most people are registered for PYE, VAT, and they don't have a business. That's why KRA had to do a really tough job of cleaning all this information from the taxpayer details. You can find maybe you are able to click on this and they are clicking on this, so that once you click on this and click on this and you don't have any, you don't file anything, you'll be forced every month to file new returns. So the KRA were able to see that in your records there are so many taxpayers, but in the end of them, they are just filing nil. So to clean the register, if you are filing nil now, they are removing you. They are making your account inactive. So don't just go and click in anything that you find it on the way. So like this one, just ignore this one. If you don't have any business, don't click on any of these tick boxes. Just ignore and move to the next. So once you go to these cyber guys, kindly be warned, because they just input things which they are not quite sure, and they really harm you, because now you'll be, in case you miss some pain, you can see if they click on this, you'll be liable to file before 9. In case of that, you'll be liable of a penalty of 10,000 or PAYE 25%, which is higher of, maybe if you are earning the PAYE was supposed to be like 100,000, 25% of 100,000, you compare with 10,000. The one which is higher, you go with that. Now you can see 25% of 100,000. That should be, if I'm not wrong, should be 5,000. About, that's our round figure. That, but you can see 25,000 is high. Is it 25,000 or 2,500? One of them. You think it's 2,500. So when you compare with 10,000, you take the higher off. And since you never knew that the cyber guy was able to open this obligation for you, the penalties was accruing each and every month. So maybe when you come to recognize, it's maybe after like 3 or 4 years. You can see 10,000 times 12 times that amount, it really will be forced to pay a big figure in return. So kindly avoid this thing. So the next one, I think, is a straightforward source of income. We just declare. If it's a business, declare yes. If it's a rental, declare yes. If it's a business, say yes. Then once you are done that, the last page you just ignore, you don't include it. Then now you will be able now to register for a PIN. It's quite a straightforward thing. Is it possible to add or change an obligation after registering? It will take you leg, and they usually say it's a very hard process, because I remember I was before this year, the day it started from June, because there are so many people who went to cyber to open the PIN, the cyber guy opened so many obligations. So before these KRA guys to commit this obligation from you, they made you go round and round. And it was just a simple thing. But at least now they have cleaned they are now able now to clean all these obligations. So only those active taxpayers are the ones that are remaining. So you can't file in a nil. So once they see you filing in a nil, they will close that account. And you have to go to KRA to explain why you are filing nil. So that is that. Is there any question as we wrap it up? I think it's time. I think today I've really shared a lot. In fact, the other classes I've never shared a lot like I've shared with you today. So you're so much privileged. I think I can now close. Any question as we wrap up? If there's no question, I think we end there. The video will be shared with you before 12 tomorrow. So without much further ado, I think let's call it a day. Tomorrow we'll meet at 8 because I'm going for a meeting. I think it will end a bit late. And tomorrow I'll take an easy topic so that tomorrow is a Friday. I don't want most of you to. I'll take a very easy topic that will be NSSF in NHIF. It's a bit easy and it's a very straightforward. That one will go for maybe an hour or so. So see you then tomorrow at 8. Thank you. Have a good evening. Let's catch up.